Hi guys, and welcome back into my keto kitchen. I welcome you all at the Daisy Keto Cafe. Today we're going to talk a little bit about bread and just one of the recipes, even though there's lots of different recipes from cloud bread, fathead dough, and all these different things. All of the recipes you'll get on my keto planner. This is a recipe I come up for wraps. And just a quick bread, and I'm going to demonstrate how quick that is for you today. But the ratio is a 1-to-1. The reason I've done the ratio so low is because I always think that you're going to add things to the wraps. So you're going to put fillings in there, and the bread rolls, and even the chips you're going to use dips and things. So the ratio then tends to go up. So it's a good base of a 1-to-1 ratio. You can add the fillings and then add the fat, carbohydrate and protein to that. So just a few things that I've done with this. We've done the breadsticks, which are great for lunch boxes and for dipping and snacks. We've done the traditional bread rolls. So you can see that they're quite soft and spongy. So let me grab a knife. You can see inside. There you go, really nice and soft. They freeze really well, and again, great for toasting in the morning for breakfast. You can make eggy bread, you can fill them and put them into lunch boxes. Universal, it's great. I'm going to show you, I've just done two little finger rolls, but we're going to sweeten these and we're going to turn these into a nice bun. So you're going to see do that. The reason I come up with this was for I've called it a wrap recipe, just because wraps are so great to keep in the freezer. So I made these yesterday, keep them wrapped in cling film because it keeps them moist. They're really, really, really good, easy to make, easy to store, but they're easy to use as well. So you can use this as a pizza base. I've then chopped these into triangle shapes. I've then put them back in the oven. I've toasted these in the oven to dry them out. I put some seasoning on these, so I've just used some smoked paprika, some salt and some pepper, and then you can use them like a Dorito, so great for dipping. You can put them into lunch boxes, great for a snack. They'll keep in an airtight tin, the same as the breadsticks. But the wraps, again, you can fill and use for lunch boxes, for snacks. You can put cheese on there and you can bake them back in the oven and use it as a pizza base. So cover in your favourite tomato sauce, sprinkle with cheese, add some chicken, mushrooms, toppings on there, pop them back into the oven, and then you've got a pizza. You can also put these into a toaster and warm them up. So again, great, even if you just put butter on them and then eat them. So let me show you how to make the dough, which is really easy. Just talk a little bit first about some of the ingredients that I use. So I always use Whitworth's ground almonds because that's what's available in my supermarket. But again, they might slightly change on the back, but whatever brand you use, you can always adjust the recipe accordingly. Coconut flour, I always use the Groovy Food. This one, I think that's quite widely available, again, in different supermarkets, Holland and Barrett, and also you can get it online. But there's lots of other versions of that. The Sicilian husk I use, I get it in a 500-gram bag, just because I use so much with developing recipes and doing all of these videos. But again, you use a brand that you're comfortable with. And then when it comes to the icing sugars, I'll explain them just a little bit later. So, like I said, this ratio is a 1-to-1. So in my bowl, I've got 100 grams of the ground almonds. If you want this to be slightly finer and not as gritty, you can always process this in the processor, give it a couple of pulses so it's not as thick texture. You'll get kind of more of a powder, so some people like to do that as well. So into here we're going to add our keto. So we've got 50 grams of a 4-to-1 ratio. and I've just used the plain Keto. I've not used the vanilla flavour, but if you're going to do sweet ones, obviously you can do. At this stage, you can add salt, pepper, mixed herbs, pinch of turmeric. You can put smoked paprika in there, cumin, coriander. The world's your oyster if you want to flavour these in different ways. I've then got coconut flour, and that's 25 grams. Just give them a stir. We have got baking powder, so as per normal with baking powder, we always tend to use Barcat, but there are some other brands on the market. I know Morrison's do a gluten-free one as well, which again is like the Barcat, but you use a brand that you know and that you trust. We've then got apple cider vinegar, and this is going to react with the baking powder, so this will give us our rise. So as soon as we put it into the pan to do the wraps, or we put the bread into the oven to bake, this helps with that. So I'm going to put that in a little bit later. I've got some xanthan gum here as well, that just helps bind everything together. So xanthan gum and psyllium husk, both used to replace the protein in the bread, which gives us our stretch and helps us trap in the air as it rises in the oven. So there we go in with our psyllium husk. So just whiz all them together just to combine the baking powder, the psyllium husk and the coconut flour. Now you can change the flours up on this one. I've tried a chestnut flour, which works really good, and that doesn't tend to be show up on the nut allergy website. So if you're struggling with taking packed lunches to school and you need to have a nut-free, coconut flour then tends to be fine, and the chestnut flour tends to be fine as well. There's also another one which is a fibre flour. I've tried it. I think this makes it a little bit dense, but it still works. But if you are at one of them schools where you do need to go completely nut-free, then maybe the fibre flour is a good option. It's slightly higher in carbs, so we might have to just slightly adjust the recipe a little bit. But it's one-to-one, so you've got room to play with there. I've then got some beaten egg. Let me check. 70 grams of my beaten egg. Again, I'm going to use my favourite little scraper. Thank you to everybody at Daisy Garland. And then I'm going to add in the cider vinegar. So we're going to give that a stir. So it's not going to combine completely because we're going to need to add some water. But it depends on the water content as to what you're going to make. So the wetter the dough, the harder it is to roll out. The firmer the dough, it's better for breadsticks because you can roll them. So I've got some water, so let's go in with 2 tablespoons to start with and see how we get on with that. And different flours will absorb different quantities of liquid, and that's why the liquid, the water, I've not put in the recipe because again it depends on what you want to make and what you want to say. I'm going to go with another tablespoon just to get that last little bits in. So that's all come together nice and clean. And then at this stage, you can go in with your hands and just pull all that together. Now, because of the psyllium husk in here, what we need to do is we just need to leave this for about 5 or 10 minutes. It will absorb some of that liquid and the egg, and it'll become softer. At the minute, it looks and feels like Play-Doh, which is a great texture to go with. Give it a little knead. Everything's mixed up because we combined everything together in the bowl. Well, let's pretend that's waited for 5 minutes and it's ready. You can just take amounts of the dough, roll it, place it on a baking sheet, and then you can bake it. So bread rolls, roll it out for breadsticks. If you want to do a wrap, I find the easiest way to do this is to place it between two pieces of greaseproof paper and then roll it out, because you don't need to add any more flour. For the wraps, these get baked or cooked in a hot frying pan. So once you've rolled out your wraps, heat your frying pan. The secret to this is don't put any oil in the pan, and you're only going to cook these for about 30 seconds each side. People tend to overcook their wraps, and that's where they tend to snap and break. What we want to do is we want to keep that moisture in there. We just want to set the outside, and you can see there's a nice brown crust on there. So pop it in the frying pan 30 seconds, turn it over another 30 seconds, and then wrap them straight away in cling film or plastic wrap. You can lay these up and then put them in the freezer so they're easier to do. So that's the bread roll. To bake in the oven, always bake about 170 degrees, and depending on the size of the roll, if it's a small roll like we've got there, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes, just until the top kind of turns brown. But again, we don't want to overbake it because we want to keep the moisture in there. So let me get rid of that one. I'll just rinse my hands. Let me grab a tea towel. So bread doesn't always have to be used for savoury items. We can also do sweet items. So an iced finger is really nice for a snack. You can fill it with some double cream. You can put some Philadelphia cheese in there, and you can sweeten that up. And today I'm just going to share how to make it just a quick, simple, easy water ice. We've got some of our Navia sweetener, but this is an icing sugar consistency. So again, great to keep in the cupboard. So to that, I'm going to add just 2 drops of our orange sativa sweetener drops, excuse me, and then just a few drops of hot water from a kettle. So again, same as making a normal water ice, it's just the icing sugar and the water. Go a few drops at a time, don't go too much because it will become too liquidy. And again, you can freeze the bread rolls, take them out, and then you can make the icing. The icing doesn't freeze very well. So when you've got it a spreadable consistency, like that, so it should just about fall off the spoon. You know it's going to stay on top of your iced finger. So let's take our ice fingers, and then all we're going to do is just spread the top of these with some of the icing. Again, you can add some colour to these if you want them for birthday parties. You can do blue or pink, and you can add some glitter, you can add some gold on top of there. So there's one. So again, because you've got the batch of bread, it's nice to make a few different things so everybody doesn't get bored. And again, really nice just to pop it in with a lunch box. You can add some fruit to that. Like I said, you can put some cream in there. It's great spread with some cream cheese as well, just to make them higher in fat if you need to change the ratio. So that's our wrap recipe. You can see how easy it is to make. A low ratio you can then add to this. So from the chips, the batches, the ice fingers, the wraps, and the breadsticks. Great for lunch boxes, great for snacks. You can keep all this in the kitchen, and it's really easy to change and vary. Again, with the bread rolls, great for filling, to use sandwich filling, whatever you kind of want to do. Or great just with some butter as a snack, or toasted for breakfast in the morning. Again, if you guys at the Daisy Keto Cafe want to know any information, you want to ask me any questions, leave them on there, and then the guys at Daisy Garland will give all me all the questions, and I'll answer them as soon as I can do. But thanks for joining me today with Brad, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.